Cosmos.
Electric football, Cosmos, my ass. But we are at the Cosmos Club. It's playoff time. Falcons, Eagles. Go Stewie. Go Stewie.
Falcons with an impressive victory over the Rams. Julio Jones came up big, and that's what the Falcons are going to need to beat the Eagles here. The Falcons kept the high-scoring Rams offense to 13 points, which I thought was astronomical. Still not sure what the Eagles can do with Foles at quarterback, though. You know, is he playoff ready? Is he able to lead this team to the next step? I mean, they've got a good enough team around him where he shouldn't have to be the factor. But Carson Wentz, you know, I mean, the Eagles lost to the Cowboys in the final game. Now I know they were resting guys, but that's not how you want to go into the playoffs, especially with a quarterback who's only played a couple games for you in live action. Falcons are playoff tested. You know, they were 25 points away from winning last year's Super Bowl, and Philly skidded into the playoffs here. I'm expecting a lot of play action from Ryan, using the running backs. I think they've got the better running game than Philadelphia. And you've got Matt Ryan over Nick Foles. And you know what? I'm taking Atlanta.
Falcons, well, first off, Falcons are 2.5-point favorites on the road. Over-under is 41. And the Falcons did what I did not think they were going to do last week, which was create a couple of early turnovers and swing the momentum of the game in their favor. Mm-hmm. Their defense, if you look, and I have to look at my notes here for a second, but if you look at the end of the year, they played, they've held the Rams, the Panthers, the Saints twice, the Bucks, and the Vikings to under 24 points each, and many of them far under 24 points. Mm-hmm. We think of the Falcons as the explosive offensive team, Freeman, Julio Jones, Matt Ryan, Coleman. We think of them that way this year, but late this year, it's been all about the defense, including what they did to the Rams, high-scoring Rams, fully expected them. Fast defense, light, so maybe you can run on them if you're Philadelphia, but, they do. I thought Philly should have given Foles some series.
I think so too. I don't know why they didn't.
Because you run the risk of Foles getting hurt, and you're down to like Nick Sudfeld or whoever that was.
You're down to Nick Foles as it is.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. He's a veteran quarterback. He's probably not going to make huge mistakes like some of the other quarterbacks in the playoffs. Bortles. It's a close game. I understand why the Falcons are favored. I talked myself out of them last week, and maybe I'm doing the gambler thing where you go, I should have had that win last week, so you're chasing it. But I like the Falcons in this one.
So wow, we both agree. A second road game for the Falcons here, and a victory.
Okay, we got Titans-Patriots. Over-under is 47. Patriots minus 13.5 as of right now. And you understand why. First off, the Titans never should have won that Chiefs game.
Nope.
Forward progress, my freaking ass. Jeff Triplett, you're the worst. Oh, my God. How do you have forward progress when you go back to pass, get hit, the ball comes out? He had backward progress. He backed up and then backed up some more when they hit him. A ridiculously bad call.
And he's the ref that called the Bills-Dolphins game horribly the week before.
Yeah.
Smiling throughout the whole thing and mixing up all the guys. I don't know if he knows forward from backward because he got everything backwards last week.
That was a horrible explanation.
Yep.
I would much rather the NFL they just went, we blew it, we blew the whistle, it's a dead ball. Not, he forward progress. His only progress was forward towards the ground and the ball was coming out. But they also, the Chiefs bit themselves in the foot with, nobody's really talking about, Tyreek Hill was dropping the ball left and right.
Yep.
And on that running into the punter, at the end of the play is over, a Titan sort of hits a Chief in the back, and number 45 on the Chiefs special teams goes, boom, cost him possession of the ball. It's basically a turnover. That penalty, that stupid, he hit my guy, so I'm going to hit their guy in the back after the play was over, cost the Chiefs a possession. So I was not impressed at all by what the Titans did. I was not at all
the second half,
impressed by
I didn't see any of it.
Mike Mularkey. How often are you going to get I throw it off of Darrell Revis's hands and catch it for a touchdown? Belichick and Matt Patricia have a very easy task in front of them. We have to stop Derrick Henry from running, and he's not Barry Sanders. He's a straight-ahead runner. And we have to keep Mariota from beating us with his feet. So stack the box. These guys are freaking rocket surgeons to begin with. Rocket surgeons.
Rocket surgeons?
And they don't need to be rocket surgeons in this case.
Just scientists.
All they have to do is stack the line and go, okay, you're going to have to beat us with Eric Decker, Delaney Walker, Corey Davis. Like, go ahead.
Yeah.
Chuck the ball and see if you can beat us with that.
Yeah, this game's over early, I think. The only thing that concerns me about the Patriots is all this commotion about Belichick, Brady, and Kraft. Is it real? Is it not real? But I think when it gets down to the task at hand, they're all going to come out. They're going to cremate the Titans here. The Titans met a Schottenheimerian Kansas City team. You know, great regular season team, and then the Marty Schottenheimer curse comes in.
Or it might be called the Andy Reid curse nowadays because he's blowing.
They always fail in the playoffs, and surprisingly to me that they lost to the Titans. But, you know, this is what the Patriots do. They get to the postseason, they get it at home, and then they roll over whoever comes in there. They're going to win by balancing their offense with the usual pick plays across the middle, and then Gronk down the middle for 20, 25 at a time. This is an easy blowout for Patriots.
There we go. So we move on to Jags at the Steelers. Over-under is 41. Steelers minus 7.5.
That's a lot of points.
And it is a lot of points, but did you see Blake Bortles play football this weekend? He looked like he did not know how to throw a football. It was like, is it this way or do I do it? I can't remember. There came a point where you could almost see the switch flip, and he goes like, "I ain't throwing this anymore. I'm just going to run the damn ball."
Well, yeah, they kept showing Coughlin. Coughlin was like this. Hey, Eli, what's the situation up there?
Oh my God, Alex Smith! I can tell you where you need to go to win playoff games, and it is Jacksonville. The throw out that first game against the Steelers where Ben did a Nathan Peterman and 5 picks, two for touchdowns. Throw that out. Fully healthy Steelers with Juju Smith, Schuster Smith. Jesus, that's a hard name to say.
And you can't say Juju anymore.
A fully healthy and integrated Le'Veon Bell.
But is Brown back?
Yes, Brown is back. As far as I know, Brown is playing. So as good as the Jaguars D looked, going up against a fully loaded Steelers offense, and with as bad as Blake Bortles looked, Steelers on defense have a very simple task in front of them. Yeah. Make Blake Bortles throw the ball.
And it's not hard to do. The mighty Jacksonville defense will probably keep this game close. I don't see Pittsburgh rolling all over them. I thought when you said, 41 points? I think that's high. I think this is going to be like a 17-7 game.
I agree fully.
If Jacksonville can score. I'm not so sure they're going to be able to score against Pittsburgh here. Even without Antonio Brown, I heard he's questionable. I don't know that he's playing. Still, the Steelers' offense has so much to prove against the Jacksonville defense. And I think they win close, but they win. Steelers at home.
Yeah, you might even consider taking the 7.5 because it's literally going to be like a 13-6 kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
But and it's going to be a physical game. One of the things, if you do project forward, and you do assume that the Patriots and the Steelers, the favorites at home, both win, the Steelers are going to come out of this game much more banged up than the Patriots. Just from a physicality standpoint of going against that Jaguars D.
Yep.
So if you want to project ahead, there's a little advantage for New England there too.
As always.
All right, here it comes.
Here it comes.
Saints, Vikings. Vikings,
Score.
3.5 favorite. 45.5 over-under.
That'll see.
But I got to tell you, and maybe this is the beaten dog Viking fan, hang my head. Oh, Stu made a fast move.
Oh, sorry.
Kind of approach to things. I think we're going to lose this game. I think it's a great coaching matchup. I think Sean Payton, innovative offensive play caller with, very balanced offense to play with. 2 great running backs, underutilized perhaps in last week's game against Carolina.
They were non-existent to me.
Breeze clearly has his favorite receiver, but he hit Ginn with the giant. By the way, does it hurt you as a Dolphin fan to see Drew Brees hit Ted Ginn
Drew Brees
Jr.?
and Ted Ginn would have been on the same team in Miami. We went Culpepper and 50 other receivers.
I was just wondering.
I wasn't upset when Ginn. I mean, Ginn was nothing when he was with us.
Good
Absolutely.
kick returner, wasn't he? Even then?
Yeah, and you're going to pay him. But we drafted his family, and the whole family left. But the Breeze thing still sticks in my craw. This is 10 years ago. We'd be in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, anytime you let a Hall of Fame, a second round quarterback, I believe, that turns into a Hall of Famer go, you got to kick yourself.
Yeah. If I ever meet the Dolphins doctors that decide in Culpepper over Breeze, I'm going to slug them. So be warned.
Saints have some O-line issues with injuries, and that might help our big defensive tackles to stuff the run. But when it comes down to it, I got to wonder if Rhodes can handle Thompson. And if Trey Waynes can run with Ted Ginn Jr.,
that's a mighty feat. He's a fast dude.
We have a history. The Vikings have a history in the playoffs of letting themselves be gashed by powerful running games, which the Saints have. They have both power in Ingram and they have speed in Kamara.
Right.
I'm scared. I think the Saints look like the most balanced team, but not only on offense, but balanced between the offensive and defensive units, both being superior. If you look at all the other teams in the playoffs, I think the Saints have the most balance between their units.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking the Saints.
Yeah, your running game is mediocre. I mean, it's average at best. They're getting 70, 80 yards, but it's not the yards at the end of the game where you just need to run the ball to win a game. That concerns me with Minnesota. Still, their defense is head and shoulders above the Saints. And
it's a better defense than the Saints. It's not as huge a difference as you might think.
I think it is. They're home. Saints on the road the second time in a row here? Or were they home last week? No, they were home.
Saints were home last week.
But the Saints are on the road. The Vikings defense, if they can shut down the run game, which I believe they easily can because that's what they've done all year. I mean, this is what they do. It's going to be how they attack Breeze. Are they going to sit back or are they going to attack him and hope for the best with your secondary? I don't know how strong your secondary is going to be.
Our secondary is actually pretty good. And we talked about Rhodes, who's, top of the line right now. Waynes has a little tendency to be a bit grabby and get a lot of penalties. Sendejo misses some tackles. He'll blow you up, Andrew Sendejo. He will blow you up. But he will also shoulder tackle a little bit and not wrap up, and has.
I hate that.
He's had a couple of big misses as well as a couple of big hits, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And Harrison Smith, you can't ask for better as far as the safety goes, and as a leader on the the defensive backs.
Okay. So if they can shut down the run and leave it to those guys, I think I'm picking Minnesota. The thing comes down to Case Keenum. He's been a game manager for this team. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. The ball's pretty. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
He's been better than a game manager, is what I was going to say.
Oh, okay. And Thielen has to have a huge day here in order for them to keep pace. Because who's your other receiver?
Well, you got Lattimore.
Wallace?
You got Lattimore going against Thielen, and that's a big matchup. You got Diggs, and what do they got? They got Crawley.
Right.
We got Treadwell still out there. He's actually caught a couple of passes. But the thing is, you're saying if the Vikings can shut down the Saints running game, we've got a good chance. Carolina pretty much shut down the Saints running game and still lost.
Yeah, but
and the Saints defense is a little bit of that bend don't break, give up a lot, but keep them to field goals. And
you need your running game to be better than it's been all year in order to win this game. Keep control of the ball, keep cliche, but this is what you have to do. I think they win a close one. The last loss they had was back in December against Carolina 3 or 4 games ago. They didn't come out of just a physical game like the Saints did, and they're home and they're rested. I really, really think Minnesota wins this game.
And I really, really hope you're right. I meant to make a point before in the Eagles, too. When you look at teams that are missing just one piece this year, obviously Carson Wentz is a big deal, but Jason Peters, too. Yeah. I mean, imagine how much better that run game and their pass protection for Nick Foles.
Yeah, that's a run game that's been average.
Right. And the second biggest loss, as far as I can think of right now, is Dalvin Cook. Because
Absolutely.
if we had Dalvin Cook for this entire season, we could be scary good. I'm
Yep.
not even going to talk about Bridgewater or Bradford or anything like that. You're right. We have a very good running game. But if we have a lead at the end of the, late in the fourth, do I think we're going to be able to pound the ball down on the Saints?
Don't.
I don't. Manti Te'o has been playing really well for them. So another key will
I didn't
be,
even realize he was on the team. I thought he was still in San Diego. So go for it.
a key for us will be if our offensive line, which has been much better this year, can get out to the second level and sustain blocks on guys like Te'o and actually establish a dominant running
You
game.
need
late
a
in the
dominant
game.
running game, and that would be my focus if I was the Vikings OC.
But to me, it seems like right now, if you said to me, the two teams that you think are headed to the Super Bowl, Patriots, Saints. Hurts me to say that.
I don't disagree at all. I think that's very likely, and it's actually better for the rest of the NFL if the Saints go, because I think the Saints can keep up with Tom Brady. I don't know that the Vikings can. However, Patriots are a damaged team. They're not great anymore, and the Vikings defense could annihilate them. Honestly,
Well,
problem is they don't have the
we got
offense.
we got a long way to go before we get
Yeah.
there. We're
Anyway.
we're gonna have to go through Breeze and Ryan to get there, and that's a tough matchup.
Yep, and as usual, the AFC really has the easiest path as opposed to the NFC beats the crap out of each other and gets there, and then the Patriots just ding them to death.
Yeah, it seems to me that the AFC winners should be pretty clear. But you know what? I went 2-2 last week, so what the hell do I know? Anyway, that's electric football.
Happy birthday, David Bowie.
Happy birthday, David Bowie. Davy Jones originally, I believe.
That's true. David Jones.
And just thank you to everybody that's watched this year. Thank you to everybody that's commented. We'd love your playoff picks. Just put them in there real quick. There's only going to be a few of you, and we'll try and answer
We'll
you.
try to get to all three of you.
Yep. But just thanks, everybody.
See you next week.